Hey guys, welcome back to Make That Sea Change. Today we're going to talk about the 10 tips that I have for affiliate marketing success. So in a lot of my posts we've talked about building a website, how to write a post, looking for affiliate programs and there's an SEO of course, social media, but there's quite a few things that you need to be aware of as you work through your posts. Just keep in the back of your mind to either set up, have set up, plan to set up, anything like that moving forward, so that you can just make sure that you've got the best chance of having success in affiliate marketing, or to be honest, any online business. In the Make That Sea Change world, we're talking about funding our sea change. So any online business that you choose, whether it be selling products online, which are your own, business coaching, writing business documents, affiliate marketing, the whole lot. These tips will help you with all of those. And they're just little things that, as I keep saying, you can just keep in mind and just work through as you're writing posts. Those days where you don't feel like writing, you're just sitting and tweaking your website or anything like that. These are the things you can think about and do maybe some more research on, or just have a look at your website and make sure you've got them under control. So let's have a look through them now. So the first thing and this is aimed at new affiliate marketers or new online business people, you need to know your product. There's a lot of people writing websites on things that they didn't start with. This isn't my first website. I wrote my first websites on things I knew a little bit more about. Then I learnt a lot about website development and a lot about online marketing. I knew some of it, but when I first started out, I certainly wouldn't have known enough to be able to do a website like Make That Sea Change. So it's not to say you can't go to them in the future, but you need to make sure that you know your product when you're starting out. The reasons for that are, as I say in the post, it's hard enough to learn how to do all this, like the SEO and the social media and all the things we've talked about in our posts, finding content for your posts, finding affiliate programs, all those things which sound difficult, aren't difficult on their own, but when you put them all together, it's a long process. If you know your product, that's one less thing you have to worry about. So finding content to write about, knowing where your cross sells and your upsells are. So if you've got a niche, we'll talk about having a good size niche in a second. But if you know a product, you know what products go with that product. So you can have referrals to other bits and pieces or paraphernalia or add-ons, or I use the example of televisions in this post. So if you know all about televisions, you might know about hi-fi, and if you know about hi-fi, then you know about the cables, you know about which ones work with Wi-Fi, which ones work with Netflix and Stan's an Australian Netflix, by the way, Netflix and iTunes and all those sort of programs that you have that may or may not work. So if you know your product, you know all those things. And the second most important thing, again, we'll talk about this a bit more in this video, is it helps you know who else knows about it. And what I mean by that is if you are in the hi-fi space, I don't have a website in hi-fi, but it was one I picked as an example. If you're in the hi-fi space, you might know which social media platform people who are, home cinema buffs use. Do they like to tweet the latest movies, the latest gear? Do they like to have groups on Facebook? Do they like to just take photos of all their equipment on Instagram? You know all that stuff, so it helps you work with that a little bit easier as you move forward. So that's the other thing that you need to do as you work through your affiliate marketing website. If it's your first one, know your product. Trust me, it's a lot easier. And it's even better if you have a passion for that product, because that comes out in your writing. That comes out in how you help people, what you say, etc. Leading into that then is, and I touched on it a second ago, is obviously we need to have a niche that we work in. You can't just open up a website and sell everything, or even though Amazon does, I guess, but we are looking at a particular area to target or a particular niche. Televisions, hi-fi. So if we talk about televisions is probably big enough. I was thinking about this as I was writing the post. Televisions might be big enough. If you talk about all the different types of televisions, what smart television means, you've got ultra high definition, you've got Samsung have their OLED, I don't even know what that is, but they have that. You can write about all that sort of information, but you might run out of that pretty quickly. So you don't want to have a niche that's too small, because you'll run out of things to write about. Essentially, if you have just horse saddles, how many times can you write about horse saddles? If you have items for, working with horses or horse show horse jumping or anything like that, then you've got a slightly larger niche, which is a little bit more sustainable. On the other hand, don't make it too broad. So if we're going from televisions to hi-fi, hi-fi is a good niche because there's lots of elements in there. You've got your sound bars, you've got your video cameras, you've got all the apps that go on your smart TVs, all those sort of things. You can, the best app for viewing old movies or something like that. You've got all that information there. Never-ending supply of content to write about. But if it's too broad, if you went to electronic equipment or electrical equipment, suddenly you're then talking about washing machines and fridges and all that sort of stuff, and it's just too broad. You can't become an authority on something that's too broad. So make sure your niche is sustainable, and you should be okay. The other thing to be aware of with your niche is, and it's critical, is that it's evergreen. Now, a lot of people confuse evergreen with things that become obsolete. Obsolete doesn't necessarily mean that it's not evergreen. TVs become obsolete. The TV you're watching 3 years ago, I'm sure, is either sitting in your garage or out the back in the rain or gone the dump years ago. TVs become obsolete, but the technology is what changes. So you still have televisions, you just have new technology. So in 40 years' time, you might not be talking about television, might be talking about something that we play on our mobile phone that goes up onto a wall. That doesn't necessarily mean that you've become obsolete. You've just morphed and grown with the technology change. So your site is still hi-fi, but you're not talking about televisions anymore because they don't exist. You're talking about projectors or glasses with the display inside them or something like that. So evergreen just means that you can adapt with the change, and there's always something to write about no matter where you are. And what that also does is allows you to refresh old posts to keep them evergreen. So you might write about, I've got a plasma screen, I think 10 years ago. Plasma screens, I don't think they even make anymore. So if I had a whole post on plasma screens, I can make that evergreen by going into that post and saying, okay, well, if you had this plasma screen, try this UHD TV. If you had this plasma screen, try this LCD TV. And you can help people move from one product to another. That keeps that post evergreen, even though the technology is not there anymore, but moves forward. And you can do that with anything. You can do that with horse saddles if they don't make a particular type of horse saddle anymore. You can do it with sewing machines, you can do it with fishing gear, you can do it with scrapbooking techniques. Anything that becomes obsolete, you just morph people in the new one and keep your old sites, your old posts evergreen that way. Third one to keep a track on is to know your audience. So similar to knowing your product, and we did talk before about if you know your product, you tend to know what your audience, who your audience is. But make sure, a big mistake that a lot of us make is we know what our audience, we think we know what our audience is, we don't necessarily know what our audience is. And what I mean by that is that you might know that your audience is males 35 to 50. That's fine, we know what they are. We might know that males 35 to 50 tend to like Twitter, they tend to be on Facebook, not really great with Instagram, maybe haven't even heard of Pinterest. So you might have a little bit of information about that, but do you really know enough about them? Do you know what their demographics are? So we know their age. What's their social standing? Are they affluent 35 to 50 year olds, or are they in lower socio-economic groups of 35 to 50 year olds? Lower socio-economic groups actually spend more of their income on stuff than what more affluent people do. So if you're trying to make sales, that might be a place to go. You might need, are they married? Are they divorced? Are they separated? Are they never married? Those sort of things affect their behaviours, and they affect the way that you engage with them and affect the way you write with them. A bachelor who's 35 to 50 has never had to make spending decisions with anyone else. So you can write to them based on their own spending decisions. If someone who's married, they might make their spending decisions with their partner. So you need to write to them and maybe incorporate their partner's thinking into the way you write to them. So that's what I'm talking about really knowing your audience. when are they active online? I wrote a post recently, if you go onto my site, I wrote a post about choosing social media. I had in there information about when most people are online. For example, YouTube. People are on YouTube mostly at night. In fact, YouTube has, if they were rating YouTube, would have more people and higher ratings than all of the commercial stations in the US alone. So combined, I mean, not alone, combined. So you need to know about when they're online, what they do, what that demographic's doing. So have some really good ideas about what your audience is doing. And a tip for this that's in the post, if you're not sure, have a look at your competitors. I wrote about this later, so I won't go into it about it now, but have a look at your competitors. How are they writing? Who are they targeting? What social media platforms are they on? Because there's a good chance someone has already done the work that you're thinking of doing. So if you're trying to work out what your audience is doing, someone's probably already done that work. Why not have a look and see what they found out? It can be very helpful. So know your audience. And the fourth one is probably my biggest carry on, for want of a better term, through all my site. When you're writing, solve problems, produce value. We know that you want to sell stuff. That's why we're affiliate marketers. We sell, we put in links to our site that refer people to vendor sites, and they purchase from them. We get the commissions. That's exactly what we're trying to do. If you're selling your own product, you might, why would you create a website to sell dresses with your dresses if you didn't want to sell them? Why would you create a website to talk about fishing lures if you didn't want to sell them? Unless it's a hobby site, but let's face it, most hobby sites eventually monetize anyway. But don't write for the sale, write to solve that problem. You must be solving problems. Don't write, here, buy my lure, here. These are what the lures do. I use this lure here, I use this fishing lure there. If you're on the beach, I would try this fishing lure. If you're in the lake, I would try this fishing lure. I was in the US last year and I was in Texas and I was talking to a guy about fishing lures. And we worked out that we actually use the same fishing lure on the beach here in Australia that he uses for bass fishing in a lake in Texas, which is quite interesting, but you didn't know that. Well, I didn't know that, you might know that. But that's what you're writing about. You're giving that information. Absolutely put your links to your affiliate vendors down the bottom. So the best lure for catching whiting on the beach in Australia is this, bang, bang, bang. This is what it is. This is how much it costs. This is where you can buy it. Bang, bang, bang. All that information. Have your affiliate link, but don't just have affiliate link, affiliate link, affiliate link, buy, 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 buy. You'll turn people off. Write to solve a problem. The rule of thumb that I always say is that you should write a post to solve a problem or provide information to someone regardless of whether they purchase from you or not. That's how they come back, okay? Which actually leads us into number 6. I'll go to number 6 in my post before I come back to number 5 because we're on that path. I talk about writing for your audience. That builds trust. Trustworthy and transparency are everything. Think about yourself. If you go to a shop, if you don't trust a shopkeeper, used car salesmen get a bad rap a lot of the time. What's one of the things they get a bad rap about? You can't trust them. I'm not saying that's true about used car salesmen. One of my best friends is one, but it is a nuance that is given to car salesmen, and it's a lack of trust. If people don't trust you, they're not going to purchase from you. Now, to be trustworthy, it's not that hard to do in your site. If you write the way that we just talked about, solving problem, providing information. If people trust that you're giving them information without the hard sell, they'll trust you. If they can see that your site is above board. So one of the biggest things with scammer sites and cheating sites and shysters and all those sort of things is have a look at all the scam emails you get. How many spelling mistakes do they have? How much poor grammar do they have? That's a big sign, and people see that on your site, they're instantly going to be turned off. I actually nearly missed out on a good deal for television a couple of years back because we got this thing online. I went off to buy it and the email that I got back had 3 spelling mistakes in the email. So I thought, oh, well, it's a scam, and I turned it off. A friend of mine missed all that, bought it. TV was great. I went back and bought the TV. And that's the point I'm making. You may not be a shonky site, but those sort of things will reduce your trust. So your spelling, make sure your spelling is there. Have your affiliate and privacy links on your page. I don't think anyone is surprised that you are trying to sell something, but they don't like it to be pushed on them and they don't like you to hide it from them. So I put on my site, you'll notice at the bottom of this site that if you click on any of the links in this site, which of course is only the Wealthy Affiliate link, I haven't got any other affiliate links on this one that I know of. I've got that in there, so you know that if you purchase on something, I make a commission. It doesn't increase your sales price, but I'm being transparent about it, or trying to be transparent about it, so that you're not thinking that, oh, hang on, he's just written all this to sell me something. Well, of course I have, but you can still get information from this video and from this post without actually having to go into Wealthy Affiliate. So that's how you can build your trust. So write for the reader, write to solve their problem, write through information, build their trust, be transparent. Another big thing, and this is quite a difficult one, I struggled with actually putting this in clear writing in the post. A lot, especially software programs, will give you a free trial. Now, some of the free trials will only last for 14 days. Some of them will be free forever, but with limited capabilities. Some of them will be free until you go to do too many, like some autoresponders for email will be free until you hit a certain amount of subscribers and things like that. If that's okay, and you can say that, get your free membership, and once they get in, they'll see how long they've got and what they get and all that sort of stuff. Unless you're doing a review, then you put that in a review. A lot of problems, excuse me, a lot of problems is when people have this is free, but then it's not. This is free and it's basically free to log in, but the minute you log in, you've got to buy something to continue on. That will lose your trust and you lose your transparency straight away. So be careful with that. Make sure you're clear on any review you give that if something's free, that people actually do get something for free. Some people get annoyed that a free membership might give them limited functionality. They get annoyed that they might only get 30 days. A lot of sites have gone away from that now and will give you a 30-day money-back guarantee, which they don't make easy to get, but it's at least getting them over that free hump. So that's your trust and transparency. Let's take a step back because I did miss keywords and SEO. This is something that for success in affiliate marketing, you need to be on top of your keywords. You need to be on top of your search engine optimization. It's something that I've talked about in a couple of posts on my site. Keywords, the easiest way to describe keywords is if you're going to search for lawnmowers, what would you search for? Would you search for 2-stroke lawnmowers, 4-stroke lawnmowers, lawnmowers for grass, lawnmowers for a bush paddock or a field or whatever, I don't know what people overseas call it, we call it a bush paddock. Anything like that. Think of what you would search for when you're doing your online searching to buy something, and then try and put yourself in the mind of your audience. Again, it helps if you know your audience. What are they going to search for? They're your keywords. There is a number of tools out there that will help you with that. You plug in your keywords. They'll tell you how many people have used those keywords. So how many people have searched lawnmowers for grass in the past month. They'll tell you how many other sites have those keywords. So if you've got 30 people searching for lawnmowers to cut grass, there's 300 sites that have got that. It's a lot more competition for you to get up on those keywords. So you might go keyword electric lawnmowers for grass. That might have the same amount of searches, but a lot less people with that on their site. So there's a lot of tools. If you click on the post, there's a link to Jaxi, which is the tool that I use. It will talk you through how to do that. And the other one is obviously keeping a track of your SEO practices. So as we've said in a number of posts, the higher you rank in search engines. So if you type in a search for electric lawnmowers for cutting grass, if people you're trying to attract to your site search for that, you want to be on the first page of Google or Bing or Yahoo. SEO or search engine optimization, for those of you who haven't come across that before, is exactly what you're talking about with search engine optimization. So some quick ones. If you're writing posts, either a review post or a how-to post or a instructional post, 1,000 words minimum, must be 1,000 words minimum. I think the last thing I read, it changes all the time. The last thing I read is Google like 1,705 words. I don't know where that's come from, but make sure you've got that. Make sure you've got images on your post. Make sure you've got videos, because if people watch a video, it keeps them on your page longer, which helps you rank better in Google. Use your keywords in your title, in your first paragraph. Most website and post editors have SEO fields at the bottom, which will be your meta title, your meta description. That's what comes up in Google. You know, if you do a search and you see the title of the post and the little description, that's your meta title, meta description. So have keywords in that as well. Make sure that you are using your keywords in your videos. Say it in your first sentence or two. There's actually new technology where the search engines are listening to the videos. Register with Google's console, being webmaster tools. You're actually asking them to find your post, which is how a lot of us get that. And check your spelling, make sure your grammar's right, all those sort of things. Constant SEO tools that you need to do to make sure that you're keeping up to date. Okay, let's go to our next one. Choose good affiliate programs. Another key to success for affiliate marketers, use good affiliate programs. This is a difficult one when you're new to the industry, because a lot of affiliate programs won't actually let you sign up to them unless you've got so much traffic coming to your site. So sort of chicken and egg, which comes first, the traffic or the affiliate program to get the links, to get the traffic, to get people to come in. So a lot of us, when we start websites, will go to any affiliate program that we can find. That's fine. It gives you links. It can start to earn you some income. But do due diligence first. This goes back to your trustworthiness. If you write a review on a product or a program or a platform that's terrible, that's your brand. People won't trust you anymore because you've written about a terrible product. So do your research, find out what everyone else is saying about that product or the affiliate program even, because some affiliate programs actually don't pay you, even though you've referred their links, they just suddenly decide not to pay you. So be careful of that. Not the big ones, mainly the smaller ones. But make sure that you look at customer reviews of the product. Make sure you look at what people are writing about it. Look at other reviews of the product. Obviously, the best way to do that is to actually use the product. Russell Brunson in ClickFunnels calls it funnel hacking, where you go in and you purchase all the products through the funnel so you can see how it's working, so you can learn from it. I'm not saying you need to go out and buy every single product that you're going to review, but if you're not going to use the product, like if you're reviewing a $4,000 television, I don't think you're going to go and buy one just to review it. But you need to do your research and find out everything you can about it and make sure it's a worthwhile product before you start to actually review it. So choose good affiliate programs, choose good products within the affiliate programs, and make sure that you're willing to place your brand against those products and those programs. Because if you're not, trustworthiness gone, you may know your audience, but they won't want to know you. And to be honest, your SEO rankings will fall because Google and Bing will notice that people are jumping off your site quick. So make sure that you've got that in place. Number 8 on our list of our 10 tips is to create an email list. Email lists, for those of you who haven't dealt with them before, if you go to a website and you get a little pop-up or you get a bar on the side that says subscribe to my newsletter, or enter your email address here to get a free ebook, or enter your email address here so I can send you coupon deals or anything like that, that's an email list. What happens is I collect all those emails. I can then send you emails with my new products or my posts or anything like that, which just allows me to keep in touch with you without you having to search my site. They are absolute gold mine for affiliate marketers. They do take a while to set up because obviously you need the traffic and you need the people to want to opt in. And you'll also note now that most websites have an opt-in option, which means people are less and less likely to enter their email address. I think it's 1 in 30 now. I could be wrong on the stats that I looked at the other day, but not many. So as you set up an email, if you're going to set up an email, you need your email autoresponder, but you will need to think about what you're going to offer to get people to opt in. If you've written a book, give it away for free. Then you sell your other products and services that enhance that book for people, because they've got the book for free. They're likely to come back and they're going to listen to your posts. They're going to open your emails. Excuse me. So keep that in mind. A lot of people will say with email lists that you don't necessarily need to do one new, and it's something a lot of people say you might want to wait until you've got some traffic coming in. A lot of them say that because autoresponders aren't free. MailChimp is a good free one. GetResponse, I think it is another good free one. They have limitations till you have to start paying so many subscribers, but even if you set up to start with, especially if you've got a product already, so if you're selling t-shirts, subscribe to my email list and get a free t-shirts. Get your cheapest t-shirt, send it out to people, and that way you've got them. And then you can keep sending them new t-shirts, new updates. This is my latest shirt. This is my latest colors. These are my latest, spring fashion. Winter's coming. Get my long sleeve ones. All those sort of things are then being sent to your reader list without them having to actually sit on a computer and try and find you. It does actually also help with your SEO, because you send an email, they click on it, takes them to the website, so it's more traffic through your website that way as well. So they are actually really, really worthwhile for what you're talking about there. Number 9, share your stuff. Get on social media, put your posts out there. If you write a post, put it on social media, put it on Facebook, put it on Instagram, put it on Pinterest. Depending on what your social media posts you're using, you can't use all social media posts. It's impossible. Well, you can, but it's a full-time job to almost manage one. I struggle to keep up with YouTube and Facebook. So you need to choose the right ones. Again, it helps if you know who your audience is, because you'll know what social media platforms they're on. But you can also join groups. So if you join a group, they might allow you to put your website up. Again, it's another link. It's a backlink that helps with your SEO. It also gets other people into your site that may not have found you through a search. So share your stuff on social media. Before you choose, before you choose your platform, who's your audience? You should already know that. What time they're on, what social media platforms they use, because obviously you want to use the ones they use. Think of Donald Trump. Everything he does on Twitter. So people who follow American politics in particular all follow Twitter. No good no good on Instagram, because Donald Trump's not on Instagram. If you want to follow, if you have in the fashion industry or doing art or anything like that, visual, Instagram or Pinterest is the way to go, because people see it. They can look at like-minded sites. They can see if a like-minded site has liked your site. It's great for building traffic and building a brand, but you need to know what they use. And probably more importantly, how do you know which ones do you know how to use? Reverse engineer it. If you know how to use a social media platform, make it work for you. It's a lot quicker than trying to learn a social media platform. It's about the same as knowing your product. If you know your product, if you don't know the social media platform, use them. It doesn't matter what you start with, just start getting it out there. As you get more time, your site matures, then you can start to look at expanding out other platforms as well. And the last one on our list is get help. Why reinvent the wheel? That's probably the biggest thing that I can give you, apart from problem solving and providing value in your posts, is why reinvent the wheel? One of the biggest things I do most nights, if I'm writing a post and I'm doing research for the post, I take note. Often I screen dump the top couple of sites that have come up in the search engines. What I do then is when I get time, I actually go and look through those sites. Who are they hitting with their social media? What are they giving you in their email opt-ins? How are they writing? Are they writing formally? Are they writing informally? Are they including lots of videos? Are they putting images on there? All those sort of things that they're doing. If they're ranking number 1 and 2 in Google, they're doing something right. So you might as well copy what they're doing. Don't copy their content, because that's unethical and bad, and you'll get found out, because search engines also will punish your rankings for duplicate content. But copy what they do. If they're using Pinterest and driving heaps of traffic through Pinterest, there is actually sites out there. Neil Patel, Ubersuggest, I think it's called, is the site. I'll put it in the post. It actually will let you look at the other sites, see where they're getting their traffic from. So have a look at that. That will help you and I'll put that on. I don't even get a commission from that, but I'll put that on the site, and it shows you that information. Very, very helpful. The other things you can do to get help, you join a learning platform. If you see on my post, you'll know at the bottom that I promote Wealthy Affiliate. Wealthy Affiliate is a great learning platform. It has I think 10 phases of about 8 or 10 different lessons per phase. Start to finish, you can set up your website in there, you can edit your website in there, you can buy a domain in there, and best thing about that, you have access to some of the best affiliate marketing minds on the planet. So joining a learning platform for me was what got me to where I am now. I think I would have got there, it just would take me a lot longer. There's Neil Patel has one. There's one that I've come across recently called Free Internet Marketing Platform. It has a lot of training. I haven't got into it too far yet, so I don't know too much about it, but it's a learning platform. Udemy is another one. They have all the learning information. Get on there and learn as much as you can. A 20-minute video can save you hours of fumbling around yourself. Do it, learn it. And the third one is something that I've been doing recently, and hiring a coach or a mentor is something that and I'm not in that business, so I'm not trying to promote myself here. Hiring a coach and mentor is probably one of the best things I've done. I've learned so much from it, especially when I was building my sites, and I was able to, again, save so much time. If you have someone who's an expert in a field and they're looking at it and going, oh, okay, maybe you should tweak this here or try that there. Business executives all over the world have business coaches. Business coaches have business coaches. And it's all about finding things that you're missing. You get too close to things, could even be a color. Could be an affiliate link color. You'll notice if you're looking at the post that all my hyperlinks are red. They used to be a light purple and you couldn't see them properly. Now I've changed them to red, you can see them a lot better. And that's what, I know it's a very light example, but that's what business coaches in this sort of thing will do. They will help you just tweak your site and steer you in a path that saves you time. So if you can afford it, that obviously costs money. And if your website's not making any money, then you're bootstrapping. So you're looking for free help wherever you can. You're probably using free design programs. Canva's very good for that. You're probably using a free autoresponder. MailChimp's very good for that. You're probably using a free platform to save all your documentation, Dropbox or Google Drive or something like that. So you're using all the free stuff. There's a lot of free learning platforms out there. A mentor or a coach will cost you, but they can be worth it in return on investment. So keep a track on that as well. And that's about it. 10 steps. So know your product, make sure your niche is sustainable, know your audience, solve problems and produce value. That I can't exaggerate that enough, or can't promote that enough. Use your keywords in your SEO tools. Be trustworthy, another big one. Be trustworthy, transparent in everything you do. Don't trick people. Choose good affiliate programs and products because your brand is reliant on them. I didn't say before, but I've heard of people it happens in software. When you deal with software, you might promote a piece of software and then find out that it's dodgy in things that you couldn't see. It's actually your brand that will suffer more than the vendor a lot of the time. So be aware of that, be careful of that. Create an email list, share your stuff on social media, etc., and get help. Those 10 tips, keep them in mind. Always have them back in mind. I've actually got them and a couple of others that I haven't written about here because they're not for this sort of post. I have them on my wall. So every time I write something, have I considered that? Is that, if I'm looking at a new affiliate program or a new product, is that a good product? If I'm looking at writing a post, have I made sure I've got all my SEO in place? That's the other things I've got on my list about the SEO. All those sort of things, just make sure that you keep that in mind. If you do that, and with work and consistent work, keep posting, keep blogging, keep putting your information on social media, and in time, you'll have success with affiliate marketing. Okay, thanks guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. As usual, please click on like below. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will keep you abreast of everything new in the world of affiliate marketing. Thanks guys.